So in this tutorial, we're going to take a look at the JavaScript proxies. What's a proxy in JavaScript? A proxy is an object that's going to wrap another object and control its fundamental operations. Control the target and the fundamental operation of the target. I know that it didn't make sense, and you may even didn't know about the target object and also the proxy. So what's a proxy? I'm going to declare a variable, call it proxy, and in this proxy we're gonna assign. If you wanted to declare a proxy, we have to use the constructor as the proxy. So I'm gonna say new proxy, and as you know before, if you want to declare a constructor, you have to pass a new keyword. And in a proxy constructor, we have two parameters. The first one is a target. What's a target? A target is that object that you wanted to control its behavior. And the second one is a handler. What's a handler? A handler is also an object which is using the handler we can control the default behavior of an object. So let's declare a variable called person and assign it to an object. And this object we have some property of first name, and in this first name we have the read, and we also have a last name. So I'm gonna say Rikiru. So there we go. And if you take a look at this object, you see that this is a target object that we talk about, and we can handle we can set some limitation to this object using the handler. So to declare a handler, I'm going to declare a variable called handler and assign it to an object. And as you see, this handler, as I told before, is also an object, but it's different with the target object. So what is different between a handler and a target object? A handler has some traps. What's the traps? Traps are some methods which is going to control the default behavior or the fundamental operation of an object. For example, how we can set to an object, how we can gate, how we can apply something, and so on. So the first trap that here I have to tell about is the gate trap. What's a gate trap is going to do, as a player from its name, it's going to control how we can gate the property or how we can access the property from an object. So in this gate object, we have two parameters. The first one is a target. What is a target? Again, target is going to refer to the target object, which our target object here is a person. And as a second parameter, we have a property, a parameter called property. So negate it, it's going to refer to each property of the object, the target object, which our property here is the first name and last name. So now that using the get method, we have access to object itself and its property, we can do whatever we want. So for example, here I'm gonna write a condition to you understand what we're gonna do here. We're gonna say property and assign it to if the property was equal to something like full name. So if the property was equal to full name, we're gonna return the target, and we're not going to refer to the person. This target is refer to this target object, which is person here. So normally when we have access to our object, we can access its property easily. So I'm going to refer to the first name, and we're going to concatenate it with a space and concatenate it with a target dot last name. And if somebody came and tried to access the full name property that we declare here, is going to return this the target of first name and target of last name. But what if a person came and tried to access the first name? So here is that we have to return the default behavior of the object. So I'm going to say target and refer to each of the property that the user wants. So and now we have this. Now we have to declare the proxy itself. So I'm going to say proxy and assign it to the constructor of the proxy. in this proxy, as I told before, we have two parameters. The target, which our target is here, the person object, which is here. And as a second parameter, we have the handler, which its name is also a handler here. Now that we have the proxy object, we can access the property of an object using the proxy. I'm going to say console.log and say proxy and refer to one of the property of the proxy number. So now if I go to the browser, in the browser you see that we have the ren, which is the value of the first name and the person object, but we didn't access the first name using the person. We access it using the proxy that handle like this. Now here if I came and pass the full name and save it in the browser, we have ren return, which is this property that we declared here, and return the target, which target is the object, which our object here, the target object, which our target object here is a person, and concatenated with the space and concatenated with the target dot last name, which last name is here. So there is a problem. If you came here, for example, you don't have to refer to the proxy. You can normally access the person like this. So I'm going to say person like first name. And as you see, we access this object in its normal way. There is a problem. This is a problem. As you see in the console, we have the ren. We don't want it to this happen. This is why that we declare the proxy, but the proxy did nothing here. Is there something wrong with the proxy? No, there is not anything wrong with the proxy. The problem is that we didn't declare a proxy in its right way. So what's the right way of declaring a proxy? First, pass the person here, the target object here, and assign it to the constructor of the proxy. And as you know, in the proxy we have two parameters, the target object and the handler object. So in the target object, I'm gonna pass the person, and as the second parameter, we're gonna pass the target. So I'll just copy this in Control X and bring it here, put a space, and now we have it like this. And whenever you refer to the person or one of the property of an object, it's going to pass through the proxy and our condition that we pass in a proxy, and then reach to the person. So for example, here if I came and now we can get over of this proxy that we declare here, and also now even though we refer to the person, it's passed through this proxy, and after that refer to this person. So here I'm gonna say first person dot first name. We get assignment to a const variable. We pass the const here. We have to pass it as a let. Save it. Go to the browser, and here we have the ren. And we also have the full name. If I say full name, save it, go to the browser, we have ren require normally. So we also have another trap here. What is that trap? That trap is set. So what set is going to do, may you guess it, it's going to control how we can set a value to one of the property or some of the property of an object. So this set trap is going to take three parameters. The first one, like get, is a target object. Again, the target parameter is going to refer to the target object, which our target object here is a person. And the second parameter is again the property. So I'm going to say property, and the property parameter is going to refer to each property of the person or the target object. And we also have one more parameter, which is a value. and the value is the value of each parameter of the target object. So let's write again a condition here. For example, say here we're going to say if the property was equal to a property called age, and again we're going to write a condition here, and we're going to say if the type of the age, if the type of the value was not equal to the number. So how can we declare that? We're gonna say not equal to number. So if it wasn't, we're gonna throw an error. So how can we say? We're gonna say throw in a new error, and this error we can type whatever we want. For example, we're gonna say you can't pass your age in character, or we're gonna say sorry, something is wrong. So that's enough. And after that, we're gonna write again another condition. This is just an example. You can type this, and again I'm gonna declare another condition, and in this condition we're gonna say if the value was less than 18, if the person came and passed its age less than 18, we're gonna again throw an error. So I'm gonna say through in a new error, and in this we're gonna say sorry, you have to be older than 18. So now we write these things, we have to return the default behavior of the object. So here I'm gonna say return the we don't have to return this because we're gonna set some value to this. So I'm gonna say target and refer to the property of this. So I'm gonna say property and assign it to a value that we want. So this value came from here. Now out of this, if I came and access the age here, so I'm gonna say age and assign it to a value, for example 12. Now if I save it and go to the browser, here we get sorry, you have to be older than 18. So now for example, if I came and pass our age like this, we pass it in alphabet. So here again it's going to through this error, this that we type here is going to through this error and say sorry, something is wrong. And now if we type everything fine, for example I'm gonna pass 19, this is going to tell this is going to set the property of the age equal to the 19. So this was from proxies, but there are more traps that we have to cover, but I'm not going to cover these traps. But if I get, because my channel is not so famous, if I get more than 10 comments about the traps I should make another tutorial about the proxy tutorial. I will make it. Else, never mind of that. I'm not going to cover this. So see you in the next tutorial, and take care of yourself. Bye.